here on KAZ Radio, where we have one of the most hottest shows every single Thursday at 5. None other than God and Everything with my prophetess, your prophetess, Rosalyn Aitkinson. Today's call-in number is 216-298-1554. Take it away, prophetess.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for being here and joining us on live with God and Everything with my beautiful, great, anointed, powerful co-host, Gail Matthews. Say hi to the people.
Hello, everybody. I didn't pay her.
She ain't paid me this time.
This time.
Oh, we thank you again for joining us here at 5 p.m. We're going to ask that you would share, and then share again. Invite somebody to come on. Listen to what God has to say through God and Everything today. You know, we have just been trying to feel God out and hear what he's saying and listen to him and move the program, you know, with and being led with the Spirit and being led by him. And so on today, we are going to talk about racism in America. It is blatant. It is up front and in our face. It is here. It is, you know, back in the day, it was up front, of course, in the Jim Crow era. It was just, it is what it is. That is a part of American history that they keep trying to wash away, put on the back burner, not included, say it wasn't so bad. You know, I am often amazed at the people that have the gall to say something wasn't that bad when they never experienced it.
When they never experienced it, yes.
You know, I was an abused woman, and for a wife to say, oh, that wasn't so bad, who had never been abused, if you have not walked in somebody's shoes, you have nothing to say about it because you don't know it. You can read about something. You can hear about something, you can watch it on TV, but until you experience it, because it's not just the experience, it's how that experience make one feel.
Great.
And that's what we have to get to the root of, how that thing makes people feel. And we're seeing it, you know, here recently we had the two young black guys in Starbucks in Philadelphia, of all places. You know, the word actually means brotherly love. Wow. And they were there, you know, and they were there for a meeting.
Yes.
And they came in and to sit and to wait for the third party. And during that process, they wanted to go to the restroom. So one of them had to go to the restroom, and they asked to go to the restroom. They told them they couldn't go unless they were a buying customer. Well, I personally know that that's not the truth, because I have a son that works at Starbucks.
Right. Right.
And you do not have to be buying anything in order to use their restroom. So that's number one. Wow. And then people go in Starbucks all the time, Pastor, audience. They go in all the time to sit and to have conversations with one another without buying something.
Yes.
One of the college age students said that she would bring her own coffee in and sit there and use their Wi-Fi.
Now, that's certainly a reason to put somebody out.
Okay. You're not even buying coffee. We're a coffee spot. We're a coffee house. We're a coffee place. Right. This is what we do. We sell other things, but we're known for our coffee. Right. But you allow someone that is not a person of color, because she wasn't, come in with her own cup of coffee to sit there and study and use your Wi-Fi. But when a person of color comes in to sit waiting on their guests, they never did say that they weren't going to order. They said, we're waiting on our guests. How many times we've gone in restaurants and sat down and you waiting on all your people to come before you order? Well, can I get you some cake? Just give me some water. Right. You know, because you're waiting on your guests to arrive. Right. That is the norm in our society.
It is.
But we had these two African-American men sit there and the police be called within 2 minutes. It wasn't like they were sitting there 15. It wasn't like they were sitting there. The 911 call said 2 minutes later, the woman called the police.
And this lets you know it's hatred. You know that's a core in there.
Yes.
That's a core. You don't
Because that
like
makes
me.
no sense.
Right.
Absolutely. Just because of the color of my skin, you called because I wasn't ordering quick enough for you. And I look a certain way. What is the look a certain way? My skin color? That
Yes.
makes me look a certain way. And then here we have the young woman, black woman, Miss Clemens. I don't know what her first name is. She was in the Waffle House. And all she wanted was some plastic silverware in order to eat her meal. Now, I personally am not a Waffle House girl.
Oh,
I've seen them in the South. I rode past them in the South. I remember going into one and turning around, walking out because it was so dingy and grungy to me. But back here, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, when I was in Atlanta, I went into a Waffle House and I ate. But the whole time I was thinking, this is cruddy.
Yes.
You know, they just don't look clean enough for
Yes.
me. And that's
Yes.
just the truth.
And I'm
So
with
I
you.
could understand why she wanted some plastic silverware as opposed to the regular silverware to eat her
Yes.
food.
Yes.
And when she asked for this, the waitress told her that it would be 50 cents. And she said, well, I was just in here. I was just in here yesterday or last week and I got silverware, plastic silverware, and it wasn't a problem. And so the woman canceled her order and called the police because she asked her for a card so she can call someone in corporate. When the police arrived, now according to the video, those of you who haven't seen it, those of you who have, and those of you who haven't seen it yet, you need to go and view it. According to the video, the police came in and did not have a conversation with her. Just pretty much told her she was trespassing, she was under arrest, and snatches this beautiful black woman out of a chair and pinned her on the floor. Now, she had on a little cute to me. I wouldn't wear it because I that's not who I am.
Yeah.
Tube top dress. And when they threw it to the ground, it exposed her breasts. And he told her to put her arm behind her back, and if she didn't, he was going to break it. And as I was reading, the police said that they were following protocol.
That cannot be protocol.
It's protocol when you are a person of color.
Yes.
See, anything goes when you are a person of color. And it's a sad state in America that we have an environment
Yes.
that do not consider all of its citizens
Yes.
the same.
Yes.
And it's just as simple as that. And then we have Stephon Clark, who was an unarmed black man in California. He was killed in his own backyard.
Yes.
And then during the whole process, the police turned off their mics so you couldn't hear the conversation that was going on. And this young man was shot in his own backyard. Somebody
Right.
say own backyard.
Right.
8 bullets in his back.
Right.
But they felt threatened because he had a cell phone in his hand. Then we have Deontay Yarber. This is recent. I'm just going with the recent stuff. I'm not
Yes.
pulling up none because we know
We're
we
not
can
going
pull
to
up. We can pull
Trayvon.
up Trayvon,
Right.
Tamir. We
Eric
can pull up
Garner.
Eric Gardner.
Right.
We got Sandra Bland. We have
Yes.
loads of them that we can pull up.
Yes.
But we're just going with the ones that, you know, in the month of April.
Oh my God.
Let's just go March and April. And this young man was in the parking lot waiting to pick someone up and drop somebody off. They running in Walmart to pick up something. He's sitting in the car with some friends. Someone inside of Walmart called the police and said that they look suspicious.
Look suspicious.
Look suspicious. How do you look suspicious? I don't know how you look suspicious. I don't know how you look suspicious. I just don't know how you look suspicious. So anyway, what is the suspicious look? If you all know, have a picture, can y'all tag me with the suspicious look?
Exactly.
On all people.
Yes.
I want the suspicious looking
Yes.
Hispanic, the suspicious looking Caucasian,
Thank
the
you.
suspicious
Yes.
looking Asian,
Yes.
the suspicious looking black person,
Yes.
male and female. Tag me with the suspicious looking
Right.
person. Tell me how that looks.
And let's get it from the law enforcement, because evidently they have been trained to see who looks suspicious. Or how about these big box store employees? Evidently they've been trained, you know, to know what looks suspicious.
Absolutely.
Because I'm out in the community, out and about all the time, and we're out all times of night. And I'm telling you, you know, there's no category suspicious look.
There's no suspicious look.
I'm looking at everybody.
Listen, Lottie Dottie and everybody.
Right.
I'm paying attention
Exactly.
to everyone.
Exactly.
Because everyone has the propensity
Yes.
to do something, to do some criminal act.
Yes.
See, we have to understand that sin is not delegated to a specific race of people.
Thank you.
You know, and please understand this. There is no all, which means the totality of, for any race of people.
Exactly.
All black men are not, deadbeat dads and not with their wife. All black women are not hostile and ready to fight. This black woman syndrome, mean black woman syndrome, we going to attack that on another day because we going after it.
Thank you.
All of these stereotypes that we give to people and we label people with, and we group everyone in that category.
Yes.
And we say that everyone is the same.
Yes.
All white women aren't docile.
Right.
All white men don't have AK-15s and shooting up everything and everybody.
Yes.
See, if we go put the stereotype, let's just put the stereotype. All black people not on welfare.
Thank you.
All black people are not looking for a handout. Neither are all white people.
Exactly.
Because there are more white people on welfare than it is black people. Hello, we got to stop it.
Stop the stereotypes.
Stop it. And so this young man was looking suspicious and pulling away. The police shot in the car and they ended up killing him, and there were other people in the car as well. Now, according to the statistics that I pulled, 259 black people were killed by police in 2015. 233 in 2016, 223 in 2017, and as of March 28, 2018, 43 people, black people, have been killed by police. The statistic says that black people are 7 times more likely to be killed by a policeman than white people. There's something seriously wrong with that.
It really is.
Come on and help me here.
It really is. I tell you, the climate that we are living in now is, growing up, we watched a lot of things happen in the South. I grew up as Martin Luther King was going about, and John Kennedy and Bobby Kennedy were alive. I also sat in my classroom in the elementary school and watched all of their funerals. Civil rights, was something that had been fought for, and we really felt like we had attained it. And it became something that stayed in the back of your mind. Every now and then you would have an incident, or somebody treating you unfairly because of your color. But all of a sudden, it's so sad that one change of events has triggered such hatred, has unearthed. It's like somebody needed somebody to give them a go word, to give a go word for racial unrest, for racial inequality, for hatred. And, there's always somebody at the helm.
Yes.
I didn't understand why, at night I come up and I start going through the TV, and I kept following on the History Channel, and I was captivated by the rise of the Nazi movement in Germany. And I became very fearful because I started seeing some things. Some similarities. Because the Jews were powerful economically. They were powerful in their in numbers. They were people that were together, and they were clannish and cloistered, and then they were together in their faith. And to see somebody come in and with a small group of people that begin to spread like wildfire from a thought, begin to make them hate it and drive them from their homes and brutalize them and murder them, I began to look at America and I said, I see that this could happen.
Yes. Isn't that sad?
It's very sad.
And, it's just every day is something. It's just something.
Every day. It's
just you go to sleep and you wake up and you praying, and then it's something else to add on top of that. And on the flip side of that, Pastor Gail, the white guy, Dylan Roof, who murdered 9 black people in church, the police took him to Burger King.
Yes.
Before they took him to jail.
So
He had a gun, but he was arrested. He came to jail in handcuffs.
Yes.
We have Nicholas Cruz. He murdered 17 people in the school just here recently, and he was again brought in handcuffs. And then lastly, Travis Rankin, the white boy who murdered the 4 people at the Waffle House.
Yeah.
He too was brought in handcuffs. But our black men who are unarmed, they are killed in the streets.
Yes.
And a mother can't go to a trial. Okay. A father can't go to a trial. Nobody can put money on books to somebody that is dead. They are going and looking over their children in caskets, standing over them, because they were selling cigarettes or CDs.
Yes.
Or the Castro guy had a license to carry a gun and told the officer that I have a license to carry the gun. Yes. And the officer asked him for his ID. And when he went to get the ID, he shot and killed him in front of his girlfriend and his child.
Yes.
But he was licensed to carry. But we don't hear the National Rifle Association. They didn't say anything about that.
Right.
They are quiet when it comes to African Americans.
Yes.
Being murdered. They're quiet when it comes to police brutality against people of color.
Yes.
And it's sad. It's a sad day in which we live. And I'm going to quote James Baldwin, who said, "To be black and conscious in America is to be in a constant state of rage."
Yes.
Now I say to you, Church of Jesus Christ, my black brothers and my white brothers, my Asian brothers and sisters, and my Puerto Rican brothers and sisters, all of you who name the name of Christ, all of you that make up the body of Christ, I say to you, what are we going to do about it other than pray?
Yes. Yes.
We praying.
Yes.
We definitely praying.
In our closed environments and with our people. And nobody hears us but God.
But what are we going to do about it up
Yeah.
front?
Yeah.
Okay, we understand that these are the last days, and the Bible says that nations will rise against nations and kingdoms against kingdoms. And when you look at that in different translation, and actually in the original language, it says ethnic group against ethnic group, and we are there.
Wow.
We're right here. Ethnic group is rising up against ethnic group. We know that. We understand that. All of that. But we have a church that is divided.
Mm-hmm.
And any kingdom divided cannot and will not stand.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. If our white brothers and sisters can look at these atrocities, see them on the news, and then excuse them by saying, oh, they should have listened to the police.
Yes.
They should have obeyed the police.
Yes.
They're unarmed.
My God.
The police has the power.
Right.
They have the 9mm.
Right.
They're unarmed.
Right.
They're not a danger. They're not a threat to them in any way. And for a Caucasian pastor, evangelist, prophet, teacher, apostle can stand in their pulpit or watch it on TV and say nothing, you are the problem.
Yes.
You are the problem.
Exactly.
And to make excuses for it, you are the problem.
Yes.
If you say you love me and you do not stand up for me, if you say you love me and you see me and you don't help me, you don't love me, and you certainly don't love God. Because he said, how can you love me who you do not see? Yes. And hate your brother who you do see.
Absolutely.
When you do not stand up against what is affecting African Americans, people of color, Latinos, Spanish people, Mexican people, when you don't stand up against all of the hate that is coming at them and all the disparity and all of the injustice, and you say nothing, you cannot love my God.
Absolutely.
Help me, Pastor. Help me.
Absolutely. And I have watched the zeal for this birthed in you,
Oh, help me,
and
Jesus.
be ignited in you, and we've been at a conference together where it became so very plain to me when the pastor began to talk about, that every prophet should be in tune to social injustice
Yes.
and speaking out against it. And it's uh, uh, listen, Martin Luther King was
Come on
just
here.
not ignited by he went to school and this is the subject he liked.
Right.
He was a modern day prophet.
Yes, he was.
He was a prophet, and that's why, and the word of God should ignite us to in the culture. It should come hand in hand, and it should become relative to what's going on.
Yes.
So you coming now bringing this forum today is very much in step with the prophetic office.
Absolutely.
And as you were talking, I just wrote down this because it came to me so strong. Prophets proclaim. That's what you're doing. You are proclaiming, and you must make the people aware that we have got to stop standing for this injustice.
Yes.
And we've got to stop being silent about it. Now, and so what do I hear the Spirit saying to me as a pastor?
Mm-hmm.
Because I very much believe that the prophet should proclaim and the pastor should prepare.
That's good.
I believe that I have a responsibility as we working in that fivefold, we all attached to the hand.
Mm-hmm.
While you are proclaiming as a pastor, I believe that we are doing a disservice to the body of Christ if in the youth ministry we're not teaching our black boys how to conduct themselves.
Absolutely.
Should they be confronted
Yes.
by the police.
Yes.
I believe that if I'm not addressing, I don't address a congregation, be it mine or whoever, if I don't address some of these social issues and speak the mind of God according to the word of God with the accurate interpretation,
Yes.
then I have left off my job. And one of the things I even wrote is our gifts. See, that's why the body of Christ is sitting up, vying for position and all this, because we keep using our gifts in the same little area. It's
on.
like kids sitting in a circle playing with a ball. Pass it here, pass it there, and after a while, people say, "It's my ball, it's my
Right,
ball."
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Get out. We need to take these gifts out. If you can write about it.
Yes.
If you can write poetry, if you have you're great with prose and verse, do that. If you can, if you're an artist, do whatever you can
Yes.
do. Whatever you have to, whatever your gift, if you can bring healing in situations, the mothers that are crying, reach out to them. You getting on Facebook, reach out, find these mothers and whisper a prayer for them or do whatever you can do. Find how you
That's
can
good.
undergird them. We got to stop. If we take our gifts and we expand them out of the body, we would be so surprised at how much sense of worth we would feel, because then we are extending the hands of Jesus Christ.
Yes. And you said something, in the scriptures, God speaks in the Old Testament alone over 1,500 times about injustice.
My God.
And we act as though all he's saying, and I'm not saying all, I made that clear earlier.
Yes.
But some of our Caucasian brothers and sisters act as though the only thing God is talking about is abortion and homosexuals.
Right.
That
Right.
he don't have
Right.
nothing else to say.
Right.
He
Right.
just mad that people are killing babies and that men are with men and women are with women, but he has nothing to say about the widow, the orphan, the disenfranchised. He ain't saying nothing about none of them. He's just talking about abortions, and we're
Yes.
talking. And here's the thing about abortion: you fight so. We don't want anybody to kill a child. I do not advocate, I do not support abortion. I do support the woman's right to choose.
I do
I
too.
support everybody's right of choice.
God gave it to him.
Because he gave it to
Yes.
us. If he didn't give us nothing else, he gave us choice.
Right.
And so I support that, but I do not support abortion. And so we have our Caucasian brothers and sisters that fight against abortion. And so once you convince a young woman to keep this baby, once the baby grow up, you fight against getting food stamps.
Right.
You fight against getting housing.
Right.
You don't want them to get daycare. Now they're a single mother,
Right.
but you
Assistance.
education.
Right.
You
Right.
taking away all the things that can help
Right.
them to be a success.
Exactly.
Nobody said get on welfare and stay on welfare forever.
Right.
That was never the plan. Although people used it for one.
Exactly.
Okay, but people corrupt everything. The internet was never meant for us to be on internet and folks to be on internet looking at
Right.
porn
Right.
and soliciting little girls and
Yes.
little boys
Yes.
and it was the telephone. They fought against the telephone. You child, you know the telephone is the devil.
Right.
No, the telephone ain't the devil. The person that's holding the telephone in their hand is the devil.
Right. Right.
You have not crucified your flesh. You have not mortified the deeds of your flesh.
Yes.
The phone ain't the devil.
Yes.
Facebook ain't the devil.
Thank you.
Instagram is not the devil.
Thank you.
It's the person that's behind the keyboard
Exactly.
who have
Exactly.
the issue. So
Exactly.
we got to stop that. And so once this young woman keeps this child, you have no programs in place, or you're cutting the programs that are in place to help them to raise a decent child.
Exactly.
You cutting, they're in, impoverished neighborhoods, and then you cutting, y'all voting to cut the money for the school. So now they got books from 1978 and we in 2018.
Right. Exactly.
Hello.
Exactly.
You cut every program every after school program, all the funding for that. You have nothing set in place to help this mother. This mother needs an after school program for her child because she working.
Right.
You won't raise the minimum wage
Right.
to help people get out of poverty, and then you sit up there saying somebody want a handout. No, we want a hand up. Do
Yes.
what you're supposed to
Please.
do.
Exactly.
Don't give me no handout. Give me a hand up.
Yes,
You know
sir.
good and well you can't make it off of $8 an hour, but that's all you want to pay me.
Yes.
The Walton family who owns Walmart and Sam's Club, they are billionaires on the billionaires list. They are number, I believe, 11 through 15. It was a Walton. Now that may have changed in the last few years, but it was a Walton. And you want to give people $8 an hour. Y'all just boosted up. Then you start closing Sam's Club and what? Because you're going to keep your money coming.
Right.
But you don't want to give these people health insurance. These people are working in your
Yes.
facility. They're working in your business, and you don't want, but you got the money to do it.
Absolutely.
But then we want to get up here and we want to put, babies that's been aborted and all of this and tell them they're going to hell because they're aborting the baby. No, what they looking at is, I can't feed me.
Exactly.
So how I'ma feed a baby?
And this has been a pet peeve of mine in the body of Christ. I know there are people who have great jobs. I know everybody. I could get attacked on so many levels on this. There are people in the body who have great jobs. They have great savings accounts. They're going on vacations. They have their kids are grown, or they almost grown, or they had one baby and they've been trying for 10 years to have another one, and all of this. And these are the people that crying against abortion. But have you ever gone to the county? Have you ever gone to the county for either foster care or adoption?
Come on,
because
here.
we are to visit the widows and the orphans. You
That's
know what I'm
good.
saying?
That's good.
And so I feel that if anybody should be taking these kids and trying to provide for them, everybody's fearful, and I understand it's a risk. I do understand it, but who better to take the risk than us? We
Yes.
claim all this power. We cast out devils. We can do this and that. You mean to tell me you can't take a child 2 or 3 years old, or some of these babies need to be taken right out of the hospital?
You're right from
but
the
the
hospital.
same ones that's talking about, I can't take a baby, then what'll happen is they'll leave right from a rally and go sit around and have coffee, and if they go home and sit in front of the TV and somebody's kid is crying because they don't have no milk
Yes.
and they don't have no love.
Yes.
And so that's my pet peeve, right there. I know that if I was of age now, I really think about it all the time. These babies, they need parents. And then, like you said, we need programs
Yes.
to help these young mothers. They
Yes.
don't know how to parent because nobody parented them.
Right.
At my age now, I could actually be a great-great-grandmother
Yes. Yes.
because
Absolutely.
of these
Yes.
babies having
And me
babies.
too.
Yes.
Hello, and me too.
Yes. Exactly.
And here's the thing, Pastor Gail. Again, we don't have programs in place, but then we want to condemn the woman to hell. because she has an abortion. And then we want to condemn the homosexual to hell because they are in a homosexual environment, a homosexual relationship,
Right.
but we have not given them the love of Christ.
Right.
We have not tried to hear their story. Many of these people have been molested.
Yes.
Many of these people have been molested as children. Many of these people have been raped as children. Many of these people have been just put in environments that have just been horrible. And we don't do anything to try to, listen to them and understand them and then give them the love of God so we can help them walk out of that.
Exactly.
But we just want to condemn them to hell, and we act like God ain't saying nothing about nobody else. We have a caller on the line. Hello, caller. Thank you for calling in. You are our first caller today, or should I say ever. So what is your question, your comment, your thought?
Yes, ma'am. Peace and good day, my sister.
Peace
This is
and
Lady
good
Gilmore.
day. Hey, Lady
Lady
Gilmore.
Let me tell you something. Y'all know y'all touching somebody that's dear to my heart is my baby.
Yes,
Oh.
yes,
And
My
ma'am.
babies tell me all the time, nobody want to listen, Mama Lady Gilmore. They won't listen. They fuss at me. They beat me up. They tear me down. And they walk away.
Wow.
So this is a great topic today. Don't want to take up the line, but just want to say, my sisters, stay encouraged. Keep talking about what they don't want to talk about.
Thank you so much. We certainly
love you.
appreciate that. We love you. God bless you. It's amazing to me the things that the church does not want to touch. We got two sins, abortion and homosexuality.
Yeah.
But we won't have nothing else.
Right.
And we don't want to talk about nothing else.
Right.
But we go in our churches and we preach to people, and we do not discuss the things that's dear to God's heart.
Yes.
Here's the other thing. In America, we have churches that pastors are African American, and they are some of the greatest voices in the earth today.
Yes.
But yet, they have about 4 or 5 white people or none at all.
Yes. Yes.
None at all. No white brothers. Nobody, no, God didn't speak to no white brother, sister to go over there and join that one.
Right.
But yet we'll have a Caucasian pastor, and 90% of his congregation will be African American.
Exactly.
A couple years ago, I was speaking with a girl. I was getting my hair done, getting my hair done, and I was speaking with a girl. And we were talking, and she was telling me the church that she went to and all of that. And it's a church. It's a multicultural church. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. That's good, because heaven is full of everybody. Heaven is
Right.
full of everybody, y'all.
Right.
And so I said to her, what's the ratio with, African Americans and Caucasian? She said, well, you know what? It's a good balance. She said it's probably about 65-35.
Okay.
With Caucasians and then African American. I said, oh, that's wonderful. I said, God is doing awesome. That's awesome. I said, now let me ask you this. I said, how many African Americans are in leadership at your church? I said, not the deacon or the deaconess, not the servant,
Ushers.
not the usher,
Right.
not to lead the worship, not in the choir.
Right.
How many are representing you in leadership roles as elders, assistant pastors, so forth and so on?
Yes.
And her face went blank. And I said, I'll wait.
Yeah.
And she didn't say anything. So I get up under the dryer, the whole night. And when I get out the dryer, I said, did you come up with any? She said to me that there was none. I said, so you're telling me that it's 35% African Americans in your church and you have no black representation that's in a leadership position? You have none. I told her, I said, you need to ask God and see if that's the church for you.
Absolutely.
Because it's 35. It ain't nobody and nobody called that you got 35% of your people in your church, and none of those out of all those people, though, say it's 100, 35 are African American. Now one of them called by God to be a leader, be an elder, be an assistant pastor, an associate pastor. Nobody. Right. No, something is seriously wrong with that.
And that's sad. I listened to a Caucasian pastor that's in our city, and it's what's being birthed.
Yes.
The father that birthed him also experienced a great influx of black members, and their church is sprouted now to 4 different locations. And one of the things he said as a young white pastor, he was talking about his black members and black people in particular. He says we had not been taught, and I hope I'm saying this right, the integrity of our ingenuity. And that blessed me so. And then when I looked at his staff, and I looked at who was in leadership, and I looked at people he's got positioned to go and have satellite ministries, he is promoting people, both black and white. And in other words, he's colorblind. And I love that. And that's Jesus. That's Jesus. Jesus had every ethnicity represented in those disciples.
Yes.
And so it is, like you said, if our church start going one side, listen, if I get on a boat and that boat start leaning on one side, after a while it's gonna sink.
It's gonna sink.
One more, and one more, it's gonna sink.
Absolutely.
And so you need somebody who will be relative. You need somebody. Listen, I done been on more boards. My God, I'm like my husband. He said he been on every board but the mother's board. I done been on all kind of boards in church. You must have a cross section of your church in representation on any board in the church.
That's good.
So that everybody will have a voice.
Yes.
You need young, you need old, you need progressive,
Yes.
you need traditional, you
Yes.
need black, white, if you get Asian family, you need to have, after a while, some Asians coming. You need all perspectives.
Yes, that's good.
In order for it to be right. And that's the problem now we see in our country.
Yes. That there's no representation.
Right. Isolated perspectives.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And this perspective that we getting is ignorant.
Yes, it is.
It's full of hate.
Yes, it is.
You can't even keep your own friends. I mean, it's become a joke and a byword. And so now what we have is authority must have authority.
Yes. Jesus was so cold. Remember? He was just cold. Just cold. Remember when the centurion soldier came to him?
Oh, yes. I
And
love
he
it.
said, Lord, I want you to heal my servant.
Yes.
And he said, but I don't want you to come to my house because I ain't quite right.
Yes.
He said, but if you speak the word
Speak
only,
the word.
my servant will be made whole.
Right.
Because I too am a man of authority.
Right.
And when I tell one to go, he goes, and the one to come, he comes. He understood authority.
Yes.
He
Yes.
understood it.
Yes.
And therefore he knew
My
that if
God.
Jesus just sent the word, that that was him going himself, because he is the word.
Exactly. And prophetess, you know, because God is just raising up this intercessor, I mean, as you were saying that about the authority, you know, in the demonic ranks, they know how to operate in authority. And even the demonic comes into this atmosphere, and the satanic influence is influenced by this atmosphere. And so we have now, the authority has been moved back over racial equality, over, you know, accountability with our law enforcement and all of that. So now that spirit just goes rampant.
Yes.
So now we have it just going rampant.
Yes.
I can shoot you and I don't have to fear any reprisal.
Yes.
I can, you know, I can gun you. I can treat you like, I sent you a clip about this young man, this big, tall, strapping black man. He was standing outside the convenience store, and the officer was talking to him like he was a rank dog.
Yes.
And he called him all kind of dumb expletives. I'm gonna be nice. And and even after he shot the man in cold blood, he stood over and continued to call him names. And all of the officers that was dispatched was also white.
Yes.
And all they was concerned about, and as soon as the man, they said they had a gun and took it to the car.
Yes.
I'm not going to say, but I didn't see the gun.
I didn't either.
I was watching, no, I didn't see it. But my thing is this, when some of this stuff, I'm sorry, when we had another president, I said it, when we had another president, as much as he was not liked, there was a watch guard on that authority.
Yes.
It's some stuff just didn't happen.
Yes.
But now people have gone cuckoo for Cocoa Pops.
Yes, they have.
Because they know that the gate is open.
Yeah, it
there's
is.
no
It's open.
nothing,
It's open.
no authority.
It's open. You know, and it's sad. You know, I just told someone the other day. I said, I know that all police are not bad. I know
Right.
that because it's not
That's
all
very true.
Of nobody. I said, but if 5 cars of police show up, I said, and we got 2 police per car, so that's 10, right? And 1 is overly aggressive towards a person of color.
Come on.
How is it that all 9 join in and begin to cover up?
Exactly.
So now, in my eyes view, all 10 of y'all are corrupt.
Exactly.
Isn't it somebody in there that's really born again, a real born again cop? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I need African American born again cops that know Jesus. I need Caucasian born again cops that know Jesus. I need Asian and Hispanic and Latino born again cops that really know Jesus. Where is your voice? How are you watching this corruption? How are you watching this cover up and just going home and sleep at night? Don't you know that you will be held accountable? There are innocent blood that is crying out from the ground like Abel's, crying out to God. Don't you think sooner or later that the God of heaven and earth, the God of pure justice, is going to do the right thing? He's going to judge America. We cannot keep allowing this to happen and do nothing. And I'm not talking to the world. I'm talking to the church. We cannot keep watching these events take place day in and day out. And because it's not happening to you, my Caucasian brother and sister, you are turning your head and you are turning a deaf ear. You are the problem because you will not lift up your voice and stand up for us. Yeah. Why won't you do that? You love Jesus, so you claim. You praise Jesus, so you claim. You're born again. You speaking in tongues. You baptized in his name, in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. But yet you turn a deaf ear and a deaf eye to the atrocities, that are going on with your African American brothers. I'm telling you, if we, the church, black people and white people, if we don't come together and begin to voice this and begin to talk about it, and I'm talking about in a public platform, I'm not talking about in behind doors, in the closet, in the prayer room, among your 3 members or among your 30 members. I'm talking about on TBN. Yes. I'm talking about on TCT. Yes. Ain't the TCT? Yes. TBN, TCT, Daystar. I'm talking about y'all.
Right.
You hear me? I'm talking to you all.
Right.
I'm talking to you, I was going to say BET, not BET. The Word Network. Yes, I'm talking to you all. Yes. I'm talking to all of you all that are on radio. I'm talking to your station. What's your station? The radio station. There used to be a station.
That used to be my station.
Used to be a station.
Moody.
I'm talking to you, Moody.
Yes.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you all. Lift up your voices and cry loud and spare not. You know, don't look at somebody's skin and say that they're pure and they're right, and look at somebody that's black and say that they're evil and they're wrong. The devil is a liar.
He is a liar.
Open your mouth and say something. And we need to come together in a forum to discuss this, prayerfully discuss this. Fast and pray, because this kind right here, this racism demon, this bigotry, demonic principality, this kind only come out by praying and fasting. But he can be removed if we will come together. Yes. And you not turning a dead eye and a deaf ear because it's not happening to you or yours. Help me today, God.
Absolutely. You said something so key, you know, about the see, you were talking about it's not all the officers, but it's a pervasive spirit. It's such a majority, or that because it's so prevalent that now it looks like it's all. And so it looks like it's all, and it's just like the church.
Yes.
Now we got people don't want to come to church because they saw 5 leaders.
Right.
Okay. That fail, and now they won't say everybody in the church is wrong.
Yes.
Okay, no, everybody in the church is not falling. Everybody in the church is not homosexual. Everybody in the church is not stealing money.
Right.
But because of those that have got the notoriety, and so it is, we're here to talk about the stuff that grabs our attention.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it grabs our attention for a reason. God wanted it uncovered for a reason. He wanted us to know that there's a problem.
Yes. Yes. And we cannot ignore the problem because it will not go away.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite sayings
Absolutely.
is, you cannot fix what you refuse to face.
What you refuse to
You
face.
have to face it in order to fix it. And then this other flip side is, if you talk about racism, you just making it worse. No, we're not making it worse.
Exactly.
You know what we have done? We have pushed it up under the rug. Now we sitting up here with a 1,000-foot mountain of crap.
Yes.
Because we kept pushing it under the rug. We cannot keep pushing this under the rug. And I'm talking about in the church of the Lord Jesus Christ. We keep prophesying money cometh. We keep prophesying houses and cars. And we need to speak to the injustices that is taking place in our nation. Hear this, that justice is mentioned twice as many times as love or heaven, and 7 times more often than hell. By the number alone, justice is a pretty big deal to God.
Wow.
Now,
Wow.
the Hebrew word for justice is mispah. Its most basic meaning is to treat people equitably. It means acquitting or punishing every person on the merits of the case, regardless of race or social status. Anyone
Wow.
who does the same wrong should be given the same penalty. Misfits also means giving people their rights, giving people what they are due, whether protection, punishment, or care. We have a officer, I don't know, he was a senator or a representative, I can't remember, recently, who was indicted because of voter fraud. He cast ballots to get on the ballot, like 12,000 people, and so he can get on the ballot. He got 6 months probation. A black woman,
Wow.
she voted and did not realize that she could not vote because she had a felony. 1 ballot, she got 5 years.
Oh my God.
5 years.
How?
The man is white, the woman is black. We keep seeing it time and time again.
Yes.
I watched a video of a woman, a white woman, coming to the aid of her daughter that was getting a ticket. She came against the investigation. She cussed out the police. She did everything. That woman got in her car and drove off.
Yes.
She got in her car and drove off because Sandra Bland said she would not put out her cigarette in her car. She was arrested and killed.
Yes.
And the police officer got off on all charges. And we don't want to speak to that. Listen, listen, now y'all don't get mad at me for saying this, but you might, and that's all right too. If we go kill everybody that's unarmed, that's black, then we need to kill everybody that's unarmed, that's white.
All right.
Listen, make it equal, make it fair. That's justice. If we gonna give the white man that put 12,000 plus votes, cast votes, so he can get on the ballot, and we gonna give him 6 months probation, the black girl that didn't know that she could not vote, who cast 1 ballot, didn't make a difference one way or another,
Yes.
we gonna give her probation too. Let's keep it fair. How is it that, let's just talk about crack cocaine. There are people still in jail serving 30 years, 25 years for selling crack, for smoking crack, for being addicted to crack. And then we got these white people that are on opiates that are getting jail time. Now we got mental health issues. We need to fund some money to help them. Wasn't nobody funding no money in the black community when we were on crack cocaine. Listen, if we gonna keep it fair, let's just keep it fair. If we not gonna do it for one, don't do it for the other one. If we gonna do it for one, do it for all. How are you going to say that all men are created equal in the creed? And I'm gonna read it before we get off of here, the whole entire thing.
Yes.
I know you wrote, I know he penned it, and we were only a third of a person in your eyes. I understand that, but you penned it anyway.
But you wrote it anyway. That's right. That's right.
And so when we became citizens, legal citizens of the United States of America, that applies to us too.
Exactly.
And the second that it don't, you're not standing up to what you said.
Yes.
We ain't said that. We ain't knock on the door for this. We were in Africa. We were our forefathers. We were in Africa.
Exactly.
We might not be. You brought us over here,
Right.
and now we're here. We're here to stay,
Exactly.
and we're not going anywhere. So give us the same equality that you give everybody else.
Exactly.
We don't want anything. I'm not trying to take anything from anybody. I will work hard for mine.
Yes.
But don't tell me that this is the line. As soon as I get to it, you move the finish line. Don't give this person a chance after chance after chance and another chance to get their life right. And then as soon as I do the same thing, the same way, then I got 20 years to life.
Yes.
No, make it fair, judges.
Yes.
The Supreme Court, Lord have mercy. I'm not going to even go there because that'll be a whole nother. I have to be on the air. I need some more time. I need some
And
more time. Apostle Larry, I need some more time. Because I don't understand how somebody can have a position until they die in the first place.
Right.
Who thought of that?
Yes, because I got some judges I think need to be off the bench
Off
right
today.
now. Right, exactly. Because
today.
after a while, your mind is not open. It's not sharp. You can't remember all these kind of things. And then you know what? Now everybody don't remember this song, but the Jackson 5 had a song back in the day. You got to make a way for the young folks. you just got to make a way for the young folks, and that's a lot of what's
Yes.
wrong with politics.
Yes.
Because when I look at the Speaker of the House, and he's talking about resigning and getting out of politics and all of this kind of stuff. That's because this is a young man, I believe, with an ethic. And I believe that we need to get some more young people in with an ethic because, and people that can come and dialogue. And with everybody want to talk about why is, we're talking about anger. I heard you talk about rage before. The young people are angry because they can't be heard.
Yes.
Lady Gilmore just said about listening.
Yes.
I had to be confronted with that about my kids raising 2 young black boys.
Yes.
And one who had a problem communicating. And so I have to listen to him in a different way.
Yes.
I'm a person, I want you to say what you mean what you say it quick.
Right.
And he could not do that. So I had to learn how to listen. And one of and we were going through something a few months ago, and one of his principles from when he was a young man, he reiterated that to me. He says, just take time and listen. That's powerful.
Yes.
Like you said, even if the church had a forum,
Yes.
if the church is enough. Since having no more revivals, folks is not even coming to revival. All that stuff we used to do, people ain't even doing it no more. We done had enough conferences. Ain't nobody listening to God. Everybody talking. Have some dialogue.
Come on here.
In the community.
Yes. Yes. But see, we got the power in the church. We don't have the power in the community.
Okay.
We the prophet in the church. We got a thus saith the Lord for everybody in the church. You don't have nobody on the dude on the corner. You don't have no power. You don't have
That's
no thus saith
good.
the Lord.
That's
The
good.
guy that's asking you at the grocery store, can he carry your bag? And you see that that there's something going on. You don't have no thus saith the Lord. You can't read him.
Wow.
But you can read the people in church because you done already heard their business. You done
Yes.
picked it all up on Facebook
Yes.
and on the telephone. Hello.
Yes.
See, we don't have the power to take it to the streets.
Yes.
That's why we're not taking it to the streets. And you said something real key there about listening. We have to be able to listen, and that's the thing with the dialogue that must take place with African American church and Caucasian church. Caucasians, brothers and sisters, have to listen.
Yes.
You don't even have to agree. Nobody say agree.
Yes.
We said listen.
Yes.
You have not walked in my shoes.
Exactly.
I have a 27-year-old, a 24-year-old, and a 20-year-old son that I still say, all of them are grown men. This is what you do when you encounter the police.
Yes.
Do not run. If you got on a hoodie and it's raining,
Yes.
you just got to get wet. I don't want your hoodie on.
Right.
Why they can't wear a hoodie in the rain?
It's a
What
double
is the
standard.
problem?
It's a double standard.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
double standard.
constantly saying, be aware of your surroundings. If you're stopped and you're driving the car, have your stuff ready. Pull soon as you see the lights. Begin to pull your wallet out of your pocket and put it on the dashboard. When the police come,
Yes.
roll the window down and put your hands on it. I just saw a picture on Facebook the other day where somebody in another car snapped a picture of the police. He's giving a guy a ticket. The white police comes to the black car with his holster already unloosed with his hand on his 9. And I'm not saying that the police's job is not hard, that they're giving their life and putting their lives on the line for the safety and, for the environment and the community and all of that. But what I'm saying is, because you see my color, don't automatically think that I am a criminal. Don't automatically think that I am here to harm or to hurt someone. It is so crazy. This policeman the other day posted that someone had got shot. I don't know where this was, but somebody had got shot, and he was going in between the houses and everything looking for the bullet casings. Somebody called dispatch and said it's a black man in a police uniform.
Not a policeman.
Not a policeman. It's a black man in a police uniform in between houses. Just today, a cable guy, he is in a white neighborhood. He is looking for the line to hook the cable. The police were called and said there's a black guy trying to open doors and looking in windows. He said he didn't go anywhere near the house. Yeah. He was in the perimeter of the house, and they called 2 cars. A policeman come ready to shoot the man. He got on this big Camcast uniform, Camcast truck. Right. But you to call. White people, stop calling the police on us. By all means, if somebody has a gun, if somebody is shooting, if somebody is threatening you with a knife, by all means, I'm calling the police on all of them people, whether they black, white, green, or purple. Right. But by all means, stop calling the police on us. Exactly. When we're trying to do a job. Exactly. When you see a black person, stop being intimidated and afraid of them. And that goes for that goes for white church folks, white believers, as well as white America. Exactly. We are not here to harm you. Stop that. Right. Please. And it's just making matters worse. You just calling them just because you could call. Then I saw a video where a white guy, he told him, he said, I'm calling the police on you because I know they're going to come. In the video, he telling him, I know I'm and then he hears the siren behind him. And he thinks the police is coming. And he calls these black guys niggers. And one black guy, they did not show his face. He came out of nowhere and put him on the ground. Knocked him all the way out on the ground. But he got bad. He got strength. He got courage because he heard the police. And the police went the opposite way. Yeah. And now he's getting up off the ground. Stop that. That word is offensive. Right. Do not use it. Right. It is offensive to us. Yes. And I hear it, and I hear y'all. Oh, y'all use it with each other. So what? Right. I have said it. I don't like the word at all, period. Don't use it at all. But if we use it with each other, so what? Me using it with Pastor Gail does not mean the same thing when you use it. Absolutely. And you know that. So stop it.
And I get my kids on those technicalities. When they try to tell me, well, you said something, you said, yeah, but when I said so-and-so, I didn't mean it. When you answered me, you know the intent. We are not stupid. We know the intent. And Prophetess, you brought up something to me years ago, and that was about Sodom and Gomorrah. We talking about America being judged for this blatant racism, and you brought up to me, and we found it today in Ezekiel 16. I'm just hit it, and it says, look, this was the iniquity of your sister Sodom. She and her daughter had pride, fullness of food, and abundance of idleness. Neither did she strengthen the hand of the poor and the needy. And they were haughty and committed abomination before me. Therefore I took them away as I saw fit. Everybody want to talk about, like you said, the homosexuality and all this, but they were socially unjust. They were socially unjust. They were not benevolent. They were not merciful. All of that. So if that happened to Sodom, watch out, America. And I'm going to say something else. If we're going to pray for our character, as saints of God, I listen, and she talked about the station I listened to for years, and have planted in me praying for the heart of God. The heart of God is He loves black people.
Absolutely.
He loves Indian people.
Absolutely.
Red people, white people, blue, whatever.
Green people. Jesus loves people. He died for the world.
So we got to pray. We're going to pray for the heart of God. We're going to pray to love everybody. And so it is, as we must pray and people go for racial reconciliation, we got to forgive the sins of the past. We got to forgive the sins of the future now.
Absolutely.
Of the present.
And the present. Of the present.
Yeah.
Of the present. We forgave that. Now it's this stuff that's every single day.
Right.
And so you just want us to just love. I'm amazed at reporters that when a African American child is shot and killed by police, the first thing the reporter asks the mama, who is mourning and grieving her child, do you forgive him? How to stop that? Stop doing that.
Exactly.
These people are like we're machines.
Exactly.
We feel just like we're called humans. See, they know they know that we're human when they need our kidney.
Oh my.
When they need our internal organs.
Yes.
They understand clearly that we're matched.
Yes.
But when it comes to treating us fairly and equitably, they don't know that. They don't understand that.
They don't know it.
And in my closing, I just want to read a couple of scriptures. Micah 6:8 says, what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness? Wow. Psalms 85:10-11 says, steadfast love and faithfulness will meet justice, and peace will kiss each other. Faithfulness will spring up from the ground, and justice will look down from the sky. Psalms 89:14, righteousness and justice are the foundation of your throne. Steadfast love and faithfulness goes before you. And lastly, Amos 5:21-24. I hate all your show of pretense. This is God speaking. The hypocrisy of your religious festivals and solemn assemblies. I will not accept your burnt offerings and grain offerings. I won't even notice all your choice peace offerings. Away with your noisy hymns of praise. God said, don't praise me. Away with your noisy hymns of praise. I will not listen to the music of your harps. Instead, I don't want your sacrifice. I don't want your praise. I don't want your thanksgiving. But what I want to see is a mighty flow of justice and endless rivers of righteous living. That is the word of the Lord. Until next week, God bless you. We love you as always.